السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله يسلمك حبيبي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. So the last time we were talking about loving good for one another, and I wanted to give an example that I heard from one of the mashayikh one time, and it's maybe such a perfect example, or maybe too much for New York City. He was saying that, you know how you love for one another and you love good for each other, how do you feel when someone finds a good parking spot? And he just took it from you, or you were about to, you found it but he got it before you. How do you feel? And wallahi, this is such a good exercise. Whenever someone takes a good spot from you, be happy for them. Always, someone takes a spot, just say hani an lahu. Khalas, good for him. Muslim or non-Muslim. We're not one of those people just hating on everybody. Oh, look at this guy. Khalas. He took. But I mean, maybe this example, maybe it's a little bit high level iman for New York. Like in other cities, you take a parking spot, there are 100 others. Like here, you take a parking spot, that's some real ithar now. That's like preparing. So then the other interesting thing I wanted to add to that is that there were some universities in America concerned with the testing levels people of happiness. And they saw that people are happier when they spend on others as opposed to themselves. This is not a religious study. They saw that people become happier when they spend on someone else as opposed to spending on themselves. And just for those who are interested, and when you spend money on an experience, you're happier than when you spend it on an object and an item. You buy something from the mall versus you buy an experience and you go somewhere with people and like that. But they found that it doesn't have to be spending money. So in this study, they gave people 5 acts of kindness. And they had one group of people do one act of kindness a day, and the other group of people did 5 acts of kindness per day. Their level of happiness increased by 40%. So doing khair, doing good for others and loving khair for others benefits you and makes you a happier person. Today we wanted to talk about a different kind of love, maybe a bit strange as a topic. We wanted to talk about love of food, something that we all share. We all love food. It tastes good. It relaxes you, puts you in a good mood, right? We have proof from that, from the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. When the Prophet ﷺ was told, Allah told him, وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, and warn your close family and relatives. What did he do? ﷺ? He invited them over a meal. And the scholars say that there is evidence, we're very happy about this, there's evidence linking da'wah and food. Yeah? So if you see a sheikh with a big gut, he just does a lot of da'wah. Don't judge. So they said there's a link between da'wah and food, because when you invite people over a meal, they're already relaxed, they're in a good mood, they start talking, they open up. You want to get to know someone, you take them for dinner, they open up and they relax. So that's the first thing. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended for food to give us energy, to give us nutrition, to give us good health, but the opposite is happening from it right now. People are eating and they're getting sick from eating. So it could be one of 2 things. Number 1, there's something wrong with the ingredients, and we're not going to do that talk today. Number 2, there's something wrong with the amounts that we're eating. They told you in the 1700s, people living in North America would consume 4 pounds of sugar per year. Today, you know how much sugar we consume per year, per person? Close to 150 pounds per person. And like the size of another human next to you, like you eat your weight in sugar almost, if you're that small. That's incredible. And all of this, al-pancreas al-miskin. This little tiny organ, the pancreas, has to process and deal with all this stuff. So that's why, one of the reasons why people are getting sick from eating, even though it's something that Allah designed to make us better. The ingredients or the amount. Something is wrong. And I believe, and you believe too, in our times, both are wrong. Something's wrong with the ingredients, and something's wrong with the amount that we're eating. We don't need that much sugar. Realistically, biologically, you don't need meat for more than once a week. More than once a week. But we get offended if we don't see it once a day, sometimes twice a day. We get offended if we don't see it. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says in Surah Al-A'raf, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. Eat and drink and do not exceed. Don't go in excess. Allah does not like those who go in excess. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he comments on this verse. He said all of good health can be found in these few divine words. Because that's not the whole verse, that's half of the verse. He said All of good health can be found in these few divine words. Eat and drink and do not exceed. How much are you supposed to eat Islamically? Third, right? We quote the hadith from here, that like that's the maximum, right? Or is it the minimum? Yeah, the minimum, leave a third for your food, a third for your drink, third for your air. But the hadith doesn't start from that. The hadith starts by, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam first says, مَا مَلَأَ ابْنُ آدَمْ وِعَاءً شَرٌّ مِّن بَطْنِهِ. The son of Adam will not fill any vessel worse than his stomach. Yani the worst thing you can fill is your stomach. That's how it starts. Then the Prophet ﷺ says, حَسْبُ ابْنُ آدَمْ لُقَيْمَاتٍ يُقِمْنَ صُلْبَهِ. Sufficient for the son of Adam are a few bites to sustain him. فَإِن كَانَ وَلَا بُدْ. If there is no other way and you have to, then a third for the food, a third for the drink, and a third for the air. That's like the maximum. We quote the hadith like it's the minimum. Fill it with a third and then get going. But that's the maximum. And the worst thing you can fill is your stomach. You're not supposed to fill your stomach. One time Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah was asked by students, they said that, sometimes we go to a restaurant, we have some food left over, and we're like full. Should we stuff ourselves or should we throw it away? And the Sheikh would get so serious with them. Don't you ever fill your stomach. Don't you ever fill your stomach. And that's what I want to talk about now. That when you go to a restaurant and you're completely full, but there's just, a few little goodies here, some chicken or some fries, and said, what should we do? Should we throw it away? Should we take it home? Should we eat it? So what happens? People stuff themselves as opposed to it being thrown in the trash. So what are you really doing? You're making your stomach the trash can. Yani it's either going to go in that trash can or in this trash can. Bismillah. What's our justification? There are people starving in Africa. Let me tell you something. When you stuff your stomach and eat the rest of that food, the guy in Africa doesn't suddenly feel, I feel chapli kebab with a little bit of butter chicken. He does not benefit when you stuff yourself in North America and he's starving in Africa. He's still starving, I assure you. He doesn't feel any of your food. So it's just the way that we do to not feel guilty that no, people are dying and bismillah, and you fill your stuff. So what are the other options? The other option is you take it with you. You get it to go bag or whatever, you take it home. Now here's what happens. There are two classes of people when it comes to taking the food home. There are some people who are very excited when they have leftover restaurant food. In the morning they wake up and they come, right? I'm one of those, I admit. Who else is here? Let's be honest. Come on now. Thank you, sir. All right? No, you don't even let us last until that. MashaAllah. So what happens? There's some people that come in the morning, they're excited, they reheat it, they eat it. But then the majority of people, they take that food because they're too guilty to throw it away at that time. They take it home. They put it in the fridge, sits in the back of the fridge. They eat the fresh food, they eat today's food, and it sits in the back of the fridge. And it sits for 2-3 days, a week. Then after a week and a half, they open it and mashallah, it's colorful, it has fuzzy things growing on it. What do? Take it, throw it in the trash. So all you really did is delay throwing it then to throwing it 7 days later. So realistically, and a lot of Muslims have issues with this next point, even though this is the scholarly and more accurate, Islamically accurate point. Realistically, it is more Islamic to throw the food away than to stuff and overfill your stomach. Because we have a hadith to not overfill your stomach. But this 4 little fries, it's better to throw them than to overfill your stomach. But that is not Islamic. Let me tell you what is Islamic. Yani the guy goes to the buffet, he fills his plate, and then he fills his stomach because it's un-Islamic to throw it away. طيب يا حبيبي يا Muslim, if you wanted to be Muslim from the beginning, you should have put an amount that was Muslim from the beginning. Must you stack it up like Santa Claus and then Islam says don't throw food and you stuff some more. So 1, take a decent amount. 2, if you take too much, and if you're going to take it home and not eat it, then you might as well throw it that moment. And it's more Islamic to throw the food, the little leftovers, than to stuff and overfill and overstuff your stomach. We all love food, but Allah Azza wa Jal gave us the guidelines for how much to eat, how much not to eat. Jazakumullah khairan for your attentive listening. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.